have to make sure that June 5th, we all go out and vote for pascrell. Because I think as a teacher, this vision also as a teacher, the vision is the future. The children and the future of America and the future of all of us. Bill pascrell is the best choice for June 5th. So I will call every one of you to call your friends, family, your neighbors to vote on June 5th for Bill pascrell. Thank you.
First of all, to Felix's beautiful wife, Happy Mother's Day. How many mothers are here? Raise your hand.
Yay!
Happy Mother's Day. This is Dominican Mother's Day.
Yeah, today.
You better know your history.
Yeah, he knows.
Thank you for everyone. And I want you, yes. And, thank you very much, Miguel. Thank you for being here this afternoon. We've been out there since 8 o'clock this morning every day. About 8 o'clock to 10:30 at night. And I want you to know I'm proud of, I've lived here all my life. I didn't have to move. I did not have to move. I stayed here. When they changed the district, I stayed here. Because this is where I belong.
Okay,
Patterson, New Jersey.
quiero que sepan que estamos desde las 8 de la mañana en campaña, pero también queremos que sepan que el congresista pascrell no tuvo que mudarse del distrito. La persona a la cual lo está atacando a él sí tuvo que mudarse a otra ciudad para poder hacerle frente.
I was born in Patterson. My mother and father and my grandmother and grandfather had no formal education.
Yo nací en la ciudad de Patterson, y mis padres y mis abuelos, ninguno de ellos tuvieron ningún tipo de educación formal.
I grew up on the streets.
Yo crecí en las calles de Patterson.
I know my responsibilities.
Y conozco mis responsabilidades.
Although my mother and father and my grandmothers and grandfathers had no formal education, they were the smartest people I ever met in my life.
Aunque mis padres y mis abuelos ninguno tuvo ningún tipo de educación formal, eran las personas más inteligentes que yo conozco.
They gave me the opportunity. To finish school. A few times they were going to throw me out of the school, but I finished school to go to college. I was the first person not only in my family but in my neighborhood.
Mis padres y mis abuelos me dieron la oportunidad de yo poder entrar a la universidad y de terminar mis estudios. Aunque algunas veces quisieron botarme de las escuelas, pero pude terminar, y por esto conozco mis responsabilidades.
I tried to get a baseball scholarship to college. I wanted to be a baseball player. I wanted to be a Dominican baseball player. That's what I wanted to be.
Traté de conseguir una beca estudiantil para poder jugar béisbol. Yo quise ser un beisbolista dominicano, pero no pude ser.
And I had 2 tryouts with the Philadelphia Phillies.
Y 2 veces pude competir para tratar de entrar en el equipo de los Phillies de Filadelfia.
But obviously I was not good enough.
Pero obviamente no era tan bueno como los otros.
I played in every Spanish league in Patterson, New Jersey.
Y he jugado béisbol en todas las ligas latinas en la ciudad de Patterson.
On many of those teams I was the only gringo.
Y en la mayoría de esos equipos era el único gringo.
But I drank beer more than the other guys, so they kept me on the team.
Tomaba más cerveza que todos los otros muchachos me dejaron en el equipo.
And we had good times, so I didn't have to be introduced to the Latino community or to the Dominican community or any part of the Latino community when I first ran in the assembly, for the assembly in 1987.
Y hemos tenido muchos tiempos bonitos, Siempre hemos compartido con la comunidad dominicana, con todo aspecto de la comunidad latina. Nunca han tenido que introducirme en ningún tipo de estas comunidades porque siempre he estado aquí.
Because I was involved in the community, the people knew me. I didn't have to speak Spanish. We spoke a common language.
Porque he estado envuelto en la comunidad, yo no he tenido que hablar español, porque siempre he estado envuelto. Nosotros hablábamos un lenguaje común.
And I cannot speak the Latino language. I can read it, but I cannot speak it. It's a beautiful language, but I understand it when you speak, so be careful.
Yo no he tenido la suerte de aprender el idioma latino, hispano, pero puedo entender un poquito, así que tengan cuidado con lo que dicen.
This is a very interesting election that could have been avoided.
esta fue una elección bien interesante, que no tuvo que haber tenido que hacer.
Every 10 years there is a census in the United States.
Cada 10 años, hay un censo en los Estados Unidos.
And then what happens is the Congress is dependent upon how many people live in your state.
Y después del censo, el Congreso depende, de los habitantes que hay en los distritos.
We have 13 congressional districts in New Jersey.
En el estado de New Jersey tenemos 13 distritos congresionales.
But we did not gain as much population proportionately to New Mexico and Texas and Arizona.
Pero no tuvimos el crecimiento de personas en proporción de habitantes como en otros estados.
So although we gained population in New Jersey, we didn't gain as much as we needed.
Aunque la población del estado de New Jersey creció, no creció lo suficiente como necesitaba.
And we know the population has shifted to the southwest.
Y mucha de la población de este lado se ha ido hacia el sur.
So New Jersey went from 13 congressmen to 12 congressmen.
So, el estado de New Jersey va de 13 distritos congresionales a 12, perdimos uno.
So now we had to have the commission in New Jersey figure out where the districts are.
Entonces, después del censo, la comisión decide de hacer las líneas nuevas de los distritos.
Now I used to have 11 towns in Passaic County and 10 towns in Essex County.
Yo antes tenía 11 pueblos en el condado de Passaic y 10 pueblos en el condado de Essex.
I lost all the towns in Essex.
Perdí todos los pueblos del condado de Essex.
And I kept only 6 towns in Passaic.
Y ahora solo me dieron 6 pueblos en el condado de Passaic.
And gained 27 towns in Bergen County.
Pero me dieron 27 pueblos nuevos en el condado de Bergen.
All the way to the George Washington Bridge.
Hasta el puente de George Washington.
That's where my district goes now. And down to the Meadowlands in East Rutherford.
Y hasta el lado del Maryland por el lado de East Rutherford.
And 2 towns in Hudson County.
Y 2 pueblos en el condado de Hudson.
Secaucus and Kearney.
Secaucus.
So that's my district now.
Ese es el distrito nuevo.
6 towns in Passaic County. Passaic, Clifton, Patterson, Prospect Park, Belden, and Hawthorne. They're the only towns now. I lost Wayne. I lost Little Falls. We lost Ottawa. We lost West Patterson. We lost Plumpton Lakes. They were all good towns to me.
Esos son todos los pueblos que ha perdido de su distrito anterior. Y solo le quedan los 6 pueblos que son Passaic, Clifton, Patterson, Prospect Park, Hawthorne y Hill.
Now, here's the problem.
Aquí está el problema.
My opponent was put in the 5th congressional district.
Cuando se hicieron las líneas nuevas, el oponente lo pusieron en el distrito número 5.
And my district became the 9th district.
Y el distrito del congresista, se volvió en el distrito 9.
My opponent, who said he was a friend of mine,
su oponente, quien por tiempo decía que era uno de
his name is Rothman.
Quien es el congresista Rothman.
He decided not to run against who he was supposed to run against. He was supposed to run against Scott Garrett.
Él decidió de no correr con la persona que tenía que haber corrido, en su distrito donde él vivía, con el congresista Scott Garrett.
And he is the congressman in the 5th district right now.
Y él es el congresista del 5º distrito ahora mismo.
My opponent didn't think, he wasn't sure whether he could win.
El oponente no estaba seguro de que él pensaba que podía ganar esa carrera.
I told my opponent, we're not guaranteed our breath tomorrow morning. What do you mean? No one is guaranteed. None of us are entitled to these districts. You got to earn it. You got to run an election, and you got to win. So what he did. He decided to run against me, his friend.
Él decidió correr en contra del congresista.
With amigos like that, I don't need enemies.
Amigos así no se necesitan enemigos.
So he said, my friend, I'm sorry, I'm going to run against my friend Bill now.
Amigos, lo siento, voy a correr en contra de mi amigo Bill.
I did not complain about the redistricting. I did not complain. Because that's the cards you're dealt. There's nothing we can do about it. That's it. But my parents taught me, don't start fights, end them.
Yes.
And I'm an enemy.
Cuando se hicieron las líneas nuevas, porque sus padres siempre le dijeron, no empieces ningún tipo de pelea, pero terminan la que te traen.
I do not intend to back off. He predicted that I was going to drop out of the race in February.
Yo no pienso echarme para atrás.
He's got.
Él dijo, que yo me iba a salir de esta pelea en febrero.
He's got the wrong guy.
Pero tiene la persona equivocada.
He's trying to tackle a tiger.
Él está tratando de tumbar a un tigre.
And I played in Dominican softball leagues. I'm a tiger.
Yo he jugado en ligas de softball dominicana. Yo soy un tigre.
I may be a few years older than him.
Yo puedo ser algunos años más mayor.
But I got more energy now than I had when I was 35 years of age.
Yeah.
20 years ago, I was the mayor of this city.
Hace 20 años yo era el alcalde de esta ciudad.
Of this city. And everybody was welcome into my office.
Yes,
Y
it's
todas
true.
personas tenían las puertas abiertas en mi oficina.
We never come up with any excuses that we didn't have parades. We have parades.
Yeah.
That's what we need in our community.
Yeah.
And when there's economic problems, you bring everybody together. People are willing to do their share, but you don't say we're not going to do this. We find a way to do it.
Y cuando tuvimos problemas económicos, traímos a todo el mundo a la mesa, para tratar de buscar la solución a nuestro.
I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm going to say now.
Quiero que escuchen muy bien a lo que le vamos a decir.
Because I'm not going to water the wine.
Porque no le vamos a echar el agua al vino.
My opponent is going to lose this race June the 5th.
Yes.
Yes.
En el nombre de
I'm
Dios.
not saying it because I want to be cocky. I'm saying it because every one of the newspapers have called them out of lying about my record.
Y no lo digo porque quiero echármelas de nada, sino porque cada uno de los periódicos les ha llamado y le ha dicho mentiroso por sus artículos que hacen.
I said at the beginning of this campaign I would not run a dirty campaign. I never have.
Yo lo dije desde el principio de esta campaña que no iba a correr una campaña sucia, nunca lo he hecho.
So my opponent must have thought that this could be advantage for him so he could say anything and do anything.
So él pensó que era una ventaja para él que podía decir cualquier cosa y hacer cualquier cosa.
First he said that I don't care about the Latino community.
Yes.
Primero ha dicho que a mí no me interesa lo que es la comunidad latina.
I live in the community. I live in the community.
Yes.
Whether as the mayor, whether as the state legislator, or whether as a congresista. No one has ever been turned away from my office.
Yes. It's true.
It's true.
Sea como alcalde, como legislador o congresista, siempre he tenido las puertas abiertas de mi oficina para todo el
He
mundo.
said I led a raid on a factory in Passaic, New Jersey, 11 years ago. That's what he said.
Él dice que yo estuve envuelto en una redada en una factoría en la ciudad de Pasay con inmigrantes ilegales.
Evidence came to my office that the people that were working in that factory on Columbia Avenue, I know where it was, were being abused by their employers, like many documented and undocumented workers are. And I said no to that. If I did not bring that evidence to the government at that time, I would be derelict of my duty. And my opponent at the time said I would have done the same thing because this employer was abusing his workers. I had just done a study of workers over in Chinatown where people are put into a factory, they lock the door, and they figure they're not going to complain because they're not documented there. This is what happened, and we should go after the employers, not the employees. That's what I did.
En la ciudad de Pasay, aproximadamente hace 11 años, le llegó información a la oficina del congresista de que habían varias compañías que estaban abusando de inmigrantes. Y si el congresista no hubiera tomado acción en ese tiempo, no estuviera haciendo su trabajo como congresista. Él ha hecho un estudio de compañías en China donde toman esas personas que son indocumentadas y las encierran y le ponen llave porque piensa que personas que no tienen documentos no van a decir nada. Pero el congresista pascrell lo que dice es que las personas que cometen esos abusos son las personas que tienen que ser encarceladas.
Exacto.
My staff looks like the community. his staff looks like they come from Mars.
Ok, si van a mi oficina, okay, van a ver representantes de todo tipo de personas de nuestras comunidades. Si van a la oficina de ese congresista, parece que las personas vienen de otro planeta.
Ajá.
Comprende?
Yes.
You know, many of you know Richie Morales.
Yes.
Immigration. Carmen de Padua.
Yes.
Martinez. We know this. My campaign, Latinos are throughout the campaign. So don't talk unless you act. Don't tell people things unless you demonstrate. Talk is cheap. It's easy to say lies about people. Now this morning, the North Star Ledger endorsed me to be
Yes.
the Congressman.
Yes.
Let me tell you something.
Very good.
They have called Mr. Rockman that he lied and has run a dirty campaign.
Uh-huh. Yes.
You know what? We got to get our votes out regardless of that.
Uh-huh.
We don't need to run a dirty campaign
No, we don't.
because we're going to win because we're doing the positive things to get people out to vote. I can't believe this guy's trying to suppress the vote. He doesn't want people of Patterson to come out and vote for me. What do you need them? We're going to fool them. They think we're not going to vote on Election Day, June the 5th. This is not about me. This is not about him. It's about him. You can yawn. That's all right. That's good. It's about him. It's about the future of this country. I'm not doing this to run again as a career move. He's doing it as a career move, and that's exactly what the paper said today. But you want to know something? What happened 10 years ago? The former president of the United States, who doesn't endorse usually, endorsed me to be the congressman from this district. Bill Clinton is going to be in Patterson, New Jersey, Friday.
Oh, wow.
We're going to get there early. We're going to be at Kennedy High School.
Wow.
We got to show him. And we did the polling. We did the polling. And he's the most popular person and candidate politician in New Jersey.
Yes.
He doesn't come from New Jersey. You want to know something? If he ran for president, he'd be elected again, I think. And this is what Bill Clinton said. The reason why I'm endorsing my friend Bill Pascrell is he's best to carry out President Obama's agenda for immigration reform, for getting jobs back into our town so that people can go back to work, for health reform to stop in a situation. Get back to a situation where it doesn't matter how deep your pockets are to get health care. Because that's ruining a lot of businesses, the cost of health care, and a lot of individuals. Let's talk serious. Let's talk serious about these things. My opponent even said, I want to drill for oil off the coast of New Jersey. I voted 7 times against drilling off the coast of New Jersey. Well, we have to have a limit, so I suggested 50 miles to 100 miles. And here's the worst thing of all. The worst, I saw this commercial from my friend, Mr. Rock. Here's the commercial. Maybe some of you saw it.
Yeah, I did.
I'm talking with Chris Matthews, Hardball. Anybody watch Hardball here? Yeah. Hardball? Okay. Chris Matthews is asking me a question about health care. He says, well, you had these ideas and you were worried that the bill was not going to pass, so you had some suggestions, bum, 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 bum. And he said, did you sit down with Republicans and talk to them? I said, yes, and some of them had good ideas. This is what I said on health care. Some of them had good ideas. We're talking about health care. What my opponent did was take that sentence. Yes, Republicans, that's a good idea when we said that. He took that sentence out. And put it over to discussing taxes. Oh, Congressman Pascrell thinks the Republicans have good ideas on taxes. I guess he wants to support the millionaires and the billionaires. All of my life, I have worked for the little guy and the little gal to make sure they're able to put bread on their tables. I've walked in picket lines for them. I have gone and protested when I thought it was necessary. How dare someone question me as to who I stand for? And all the papers called him out on it. He's not only wrong, he's a liar.
Yeah.
He's a liar. And if you see him, go tell him I said so.
Yes, we will.
Because we've had a debate. Some of you watched those debates.
Yeah.
I said it like it was.
Yes.
I didn't dance around the perimeter there. I said exactly what was on my mind. Don't people want that? They want you to be straight to them.
Yes.
Look, none of us have all the answers. We got to come together and make the country better for our kids.
Yes.
That's what we always do. We're not a perfect country. We make mistakes. But we need to strengthen that country. I have never taken any election for granted. When people said to me, Bill, what are you worried about? Yeah, the guys that you know. I worked harder the next day.
Exactly.
I'm working harder the next day. And tomorrow I'll work harder than I work today. I'm trying to do that. Because you got to earn it. I think of my parents and how they brought me up. As many of us do. As most of us do. And I know what they taught me. Even though they had no formal education. We need to invest in the education for our children. All children. Not just the rich. We need to make sure that people have health care, even if they don't have insurance coverage. Instead of sending people to the emergency room, which is the most expensive part of the hospital. That's not the solution to health care problems in this country. So now, if you have a precondition, you're still going to be able to get insurance. If after you have insurance and you have a condition, they can't throw you off their insurance policy. You keep your children on the policy till they're 26 years of age. They can be on your policy. We need changes. Is the health care bill perfect? No. But we couldn't keep doing what we were doing. And our seniors, our mothers and fathers, my mom and dad have passed. But many of you, mom and dad are still alive, thank God. And they should not have to go and worry about if they have enough money for the prescriptions. Or how much they got to take out of their own pocket to get it to them. So we changed that as well in the health care bill. I've always had a close tie to the Dominican community. Does that mean I got every Dominican to vote for me? Well, I'll tell you what happened in the last 5 elections. An average of 90% of Dominicans came out to vote for Bill Pascrell.
Yes.
They didn't do it. They didn't do it because we paid them $10. They did it because it was for them. For ourselves. That's why they did it. That's why they did it. We are not going to be bought off. We are not. And I am asking you between now and June the 5th, Cinco de Junio, not too far away, a week from this Tuesday,
Yes.
to bring out every vote. We're going to send a message all across this country. Because the Washington Post says this is the biggest primary election in the whole country.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Woo! Woo!
And Patty, we're on a map. We're on a map. We're not going to lose our Congress.
No.
But again, it's not about me. It's not about me. It's never about one person.
Yes.
It's about us.
Yes.
Can I count on you?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I count on you?
Yes.
Can I count on you? Thank you from my heart. I want to say to the Rodriguezes, thank you for having me in your beautiful home. Thank you for inviting our friends. And you're going to have a happy Mother's Day today. And have a happy Mother's Day. And I know when I learned the Dominican national anthem, and I used to love to hear the Dominican because it went on and on and on and on. I love that national anthem. And I know the deep feeling of freedom that Dominicans have, and everybody has. Whether you're from Dominican Republic, you're from Peru, you're from Colombia, It doesn't matter. I know the deep feeling that you have about human freedom. The freedom that everybody has, and wants rather, does not come from the Constitution of the United States. You may be surprised when I say that. The Constitution protects the freedoms that you are born with. If you're born in the mountains of Columbia, if you are born in the mountains of the Appalachia in West Virginia, if you're born in the Sahara Desert, the place where you're born may not have a constitution. Does that mean you're not free? No, it doesn't. We are born. You didn't bring yourself here. I got news for you. You did. If you think you brought yourself here, God brought us here.
Amen.
God brought us with the help of our parents. Our freedom comes from the Almighty. The Constitution protects it. We hope there are countries that don't have Constitution that will have Constitution. So thank you for listening to me. Can we have a few questions? Because then I got to go to the next event. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sí.
Más que todo importante